This is actually terrifying. There are students right now studying half the hours you do and getting twice the results. And the worst part is, you probably think it's because they're naturally smarter or have better memory. Wrong. They just know something you don't. Something that completely rewires how your brain processes information. I'm about to expose 4 study habits that are literally rewiring your brain for failure. And I guarantee you're doing at least 3 of them right now. So, here's what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes. You're going to realize why all those hours you've been putting in feel like torture with minimal results. You're going to understand why some people can study for 4 hours and retain more than you do in 10. And I am going to keep it short as well. Once you see how badly you've been sabotaging yourself, there's no going back to your old methods. You'll never be able to study the same way again. Problem 1. Endless passive study. Alright, let's talk about your obsession with passive studying. You're rereading your textbook like it's your ex's old texts, copying notes word for word. You're the same people who watch fitness videos and wonder why you're not getting ripped. Let me just paint a picture of your pathetic study routine. You sit there rereading the same chapter, highlighting every other sentence, because apparently your textbook needs to look like a unicorn exploded on it. You copy notes word for word, thinking that moving your hand automatically uploads information to your brain. While you're doing this mindless busy work, pretending you're putting in the hours, smarter students are using active recall and absolutely demolishing you in half the time. They're not highlighting shit. I mean, yeah, they sometimes do, but they are focusing more on learning stuff. They're not wasting time making pretty notes. They're forcing their brains to work. Why does passive studying destroy your brain? Because you're training it to recognize information instead of recalling it. It's like the difference between reading about swimming and actually jumping in the pool. Your brain goes into autopilot mode and stops forming strong neural pathways. The fix is simple, but 90% of you won't do it because it's uncomfortable. Active recall only. Close the book and force yourself to explain everything from memory. I don't give a shit. Make your brain sweat instead of letting it coast on recognition. Problem 2. Zero recovery time. The marathon morons who think studying is about endurance instead of efficiency.
Bro, I studied for 14 hours today.
Yeah, and I could stare at a wall for 20 hours. Doesn't mean I accomplished anything. You idiots sit there for 10+ hours of low-focus garbage, scrolling your phone every 15 minutes, taking quick social media breaks that turn into hour-long dopamine binges, then pat yourselves on the back for grinding. I've made videos about grinding hard. Sometimes life demands you put in the work, like when you've got a deadline breathing down your neck. But 10 hours every day? Why not 12 or 16? Hell, why not study until your eyeballs bleed? You're not learning shit. Deep down, you know you're barely retaining anything, and it's killing you. Why is this torching your brain? Your brain's not a fucking machine, dude. It gets tired. Cognitive fatigue is real. Without rest, your memories don't stick, and you're just piling up mental trash. It's like trying to lift weights for 12 hours straight and wondering why you're not getting stronger. Your brain needs downtime to transfer information from short-term to long-term memory. Why not just study 24 hours straight if more time equals better results? Because that logic is fucking idiotic, just like your current approach. Problem 3. Study without testing. If you think reading your notes for the 47th time counts as studying, you're like that person who keeps watching the same movie thinking they'll understand it better each time. Here's your typical study session. Read notes, feel good about recognizing information, read them again because it helps retention, maybe make some flashcards you'll never actually use, then convince yourself you're prepared. Meanwhile, you have no idea what you actually remember because you never test yourself. Your brain needs to be challenged to grow stronger. Your brain forms stronger neural pathways through retrieval stress. When you force yourself to recall information without looking, you're literally rewiring your brain to be better at remembering. But that requires discomfort, and most of you are allergic to anything that doesn't feel easy. Close everything, grab blank paper, and write down everything you remember from today. Or take practice tests and get humbled by how little you actually retained. Most of you won't do this because it exposes how little you actually know. You'd rather stay comfortable in your delusion that reading equals learning. That's exactly why you'll keep getting surprised by exam questions that require actual understanding instead of recognition. Problem 4. Overfeeding the brain. You sit down to study after demolishing a massive meal and wonder why you feel like a brain-dead sloth for the next 3 hours. You're constantly snacking on high-carb garbage. All that sugar and junk is tanking your focus. Then, you crash harder than your GPA. When you stuff yourself before studying, your body diverts blood flow to digest all that garbage instead of powering your brain. Some fat-ass doctor probably told your parents you have to eat breakfast or you'll die. It's all propaganda, man. Big Food's been shoving sugary cereal and high-carb garbage down our throats forever. You don't need to eat during your most productive hours. Don't eat heavy meals during your prime study hours. Your ancestors didn't need constant snacking to function, and neither do you. Light meals, proper hydration, and stop treating every study session like it needs to be catered. So, Just pick one of these problems and fix it this week. Stop passive studying. Take strategic breaks. Test yourself ruthlessly and quit eating like you're preparing for hibernation. Your brain is capable of incredible things, but only if you stop treating it like it needs to be comfortable 24/7.